For decades, the ruthless Joaquim El Chapo Guzman,
drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, has a new title, fugitive.
El Chapo, but nicknamed Shorty, tonight is in a do-or-die situation.
This is the moment Joaquin El Chapo Guzman makes the Mexican government look ridiculous.
El Chapo escape fears are not unfounded. He tunneled out of the last Mexican prison where he was locked up.
This is a maximum security prison situated in the state of Mexico. Its name is Altiplano Federal Social Readaptation Center, and this was the ex-prison of one of the most dangerous persons in Mexico, Joaquin Guzman, also known as El Chapo. El Chapo, whose real name is Joaquin Archibaldo Guzman Loera, was born on April 4, 1957, in the rural community of La Tuna, Sinaloa, Mexico. Despite humble beginnings, his life took a dramatic turn as he delved into the world of drug trafficking. As a teenager, Guzman was kicked out of his home by his father and went to live with his grandfather. It was during this time that he gained the nickname El Chapo, due to his short stature and stocky build. Seeking opportunities, he ventured into the drug trade under the guidance of his uncle, Pedro Aviles Perez. In the 1970s, El Chapo began working for the drug lord Hector El Güero Palma, overseeing drug shipments from the Sierra Madre region to the U.S.-Mexico border. His business acumen caught the attention of the leaders of the Guadalajara cartel, leading to an introduction to Felix Gallardo, a major drug lord in Mexico at the time. El Chapo quickly rose through the ranks, becoming a key figure in coordinating drug shipments from Colombia to Mexico via land, air, and sea. However, his involvement in organized crime didn't go unnoticed. In 1987, he was indicted in the United States for drug trafficking, marking the beginning of his legal troubles. The turning point in El Chapo's story came with the kidnapping, torture, and murder of DEA agent Enrique Camarena Salazar in 1985. This event sparked outrage and intensified the hunt for those involved. Seizing the opportunity amidst the chaos, El Chapo expanded his influence within the cartel. Despite his wealth and power, El Chapo's empire began to crumble. In 1993, he was arrested in Guatemala and extradited to Mexico, where he was imprisoned in the Altiplano Federal Social Readaptation Center No. 1. However, his saga didn't end there. On July 11, 2015, El Chapo made a daring escape from prison, highlighting the depth of corruption and inefficiency within the Mexican justice system. El Chapo's trusted associate, Damaso Lopez, received cryptic notes cautioning him to be discreet. But this was just the beginning. By March of that year, Lopez found himself face-to-face with El Chapo's wife, Emma Coronel. She delivered a message straight from the drug boss. He was contemplating another crazy escape, and he needed Lopez's help. Lopez says yes to Emma, and he embarks on a journey that would test his loyalty and nerve. Guzman's plan was ambitious. He needed weapons, an armored truck, a piece of land, and most importantly, a tunnel. Yes, a tunnel. And so the clandestine operation began. The piece of land was because a tunnel needed to start and finish at a certain point. Then we will see why El Chapo needed weapons and an armored truck. But how to pinpoint the exact location of El Chapo's cell? Lopez and Guzman's son devised a cunning plan involving GPS technology. The leader of the Sinaloa cartel illegally possessed a television in his cell with a GPS tracker inside, so the tunnel could be built with precision. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman's accomplices knew where the world's most wanted and powerful drug lord was at all times, because he had a television in his cell that had a GPS tracking device inside of it. With the tunnel's route mapped out, the group pressed on, meeting clandestinely to discuss progress and next steps. Lopez, during an interview, said, "I rededicated myself to get what had been asked of me." Meanwhile, inside the walls of Altiplano, El Chapo bided his time, patiently awaiting his chance at freedom. And then the fateful day arrived, a weekend, the 11th of July 2015, when the prison was supposedly less guarded. As El Chapo slipped into the tunnel, a motorcycle awaited him on the other side. From there, it was a series of carefully orchestrated maneuvers, with an ATV, a warehouse, and finally he arrived in San Juan de Rio, where a plane was waiting for him. And just like that, El Chapo vanished into the night, leaving behind a stunned prison and a nation in disbelief. The escape of Guzman triggered a widespread manhunt, with Mexico's National Security Commissioner immediately instituting search efforts in the surrounding area. Checkpoints were set up and air searches by helicopter were conducted. The entire prison was placed on lockdown and no one was allowed to enter or leave. The search was then extended to other federal entities, including Mexico City, the state of Mexico, and several other states. The Mexican government even issued an international warning to prevent Guzman from escaping the country through airports, border checkpoints, or ports. In a press conference, President Peña Nieto expressed shock at Guzman's escape and promised an intensive investigation to determine if officials had collaborated in the prison break. He emphasized that Guzman's escape was an affront to the Mexican government. Interior Minister Osorio Chong convened a meeting with security and law enforcement intelligence specialists to analyze the government's actions and strategies for recapturing Guzman. This meeting was followed by a press conference aimed at updating the public on the government's efforts. The Mexican police reported suspicious activity in a house in Los Mochis, Sinaloa, which was then placed under surveillance for a month. Monitored communications indicated the home was being prepared for the arrival of a high-priority target. In the early hours of January 8, 2016, a raid was conducted on the residence, dubbed Operation Black Swan, by 17 Marines from the Mexican Navy Special Forces, supported by the Mexican Army and federal police. However, Guzman and a lieutenant managed to escape through a secret tunnel emerging 1.5 kilometers away. A statewide alert was issued for the stolen vehicle, which was intercepted by federal police. Guzman attempted to corrupt the officers, but was unsuccessful. Mexico formally launched a renewed process of extradition to the United States 2 days after Guzman was recaptured on the 8th of January 2016 after his second prison escape. On the 19th of January 2017, Guzman was extradited to the U.S. to face the charges and turned over to the custody of HSI and DEA agents.
¿Ocupación de usted?
Agricultor.
¿Su lugar de nacimiento? Sí.
Municipio de Guanajuato.
¿Fecha de nacimiento?
4 de abril del 57.
¿Su edad?
58.
¿Su domicilio?
La Tuna, municipio de Guanajuato.